DeGrom taking his good.
At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the San Diego Padres. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. By Northwell, when we raise health, we raise everyone. By Tri Honda, contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today. By Citi, proud partner of the New York Mets. And by Toyota, dear driver, hurry in and save. Toyota. Well, the Padres are in town. The Mets were in San Diego last weekend and split 4 games. Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis, and the Padres have hit a little offensive skid of late. Great pitching in that series in San Diego on both sides. The Mets, bats really came alive in their last game in Baltimore. James McCann has been red hot with the bat. Dom Smith is beginning to hit for some power as well. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez with you in the same booth for the first time in a couple of years. Feels good. Good to be back.
It's nice to see your face.
Mets open a homestand tonight with the first of 3 against the San Diego Padres. They outscored the Padres 13-8 in that 4-game split in San Diego last weekend. Jacob DeGrom takes the mound tonight. The last time he faced the Padres, he struck out 11 over 7 innings.
Well, just another terrific performance, and I think that Jacob now has a greatest career as he's had, the 2 Cy Youngs, has elevated himself now into the premier pitcher in the class of Feller, Carlton, Gibson, Seaver. What he's doing this year is unbelievable, and his slider in San Diego, the last start, was just off the charts. Machado was really the only guy that struck out on fastballs away, but that slider, if you'll look, is just that bait slider. It is so tight, and he is doing this on purpose, folks. I have not seen a pitcher command a slider like this since Steve Carlton, Gary.
Now, all of his strikeout pitches, both to lefties and righties, went to the glove side, that same area of the plate. So if you're the Padres and you see that kind of a chart coming out of that start, what kind of adjustment can you make?
Well, they had to see the chart before they faced him in San Diego, because this is what he does every 5th day so far this season. It's just such a tight slider. You cannot go up against a quality pitcher, a star pitcher, with a great, sharp, tight breaking ball and swing for the fences, Gary. You've got to stay back and go up the middle and try to get on base and make something happen. And if he makes a mistake, you're in a position to really attack and as the hitting coaches say today, do damage.
Haven't been a lot of damage done against DeGrom yet this year. 4 earned runs allowed in his first 9 starts, an historic beginning to a year. He'll be facing the Padres tonight on SNY. Open, vote daily at MLB.com/vote and on Google by searching for your favorite players to send them to Colorado. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Tri-Acura. Less talk, more drive. For exceptional offers, visit triacura.com. By the State Farm agent of the game, Floor Cawley of Richmond Hill, New York. Contact Floor at floorcawley.com. And by Audi, visit your Tri-State Audi dealer and experience the fully electric Audi e-tron today. First 12,000 fans at the Mets-Padres game tomorrow will receive a Jeff McNeil bobblehead courtesy of HSS. For tickets, go to Mets.com/tickets. Perfect sponsor for the bobblehead for the guy who's trying to come back from the hamstring injury. McNeil will be going on a rehab assignment this weekend. The Mets hope to have him back within a week. Jacob DeGrom getting a huge hand from the assembling crowd at Citi Field, getting ready for his 10th start of the year. What can DeGrom do next? We'll find out. His first pitch is coming right up. Jacob DeGrom leading the Mets out onto the field, and a thunderous ovation from the largest crowd the Mets have played in front of in 2 years. Hyundai starting lineup for the Padres. No Eric Hosmer tonight. They switched Tatis and Machado. Machado had been batting second, Tatis fourth, with Jace Tingler trying to change things up because the Padres have been struggling offensively of late. Tommy Pham is leading off. DeGrom is ready to go. And his first pitch of the night is fouled away at 99 miles an hour, and we're underway.
And as usual, DeGrom, there's his numbers on the year. I mean, closest guy to him is Bob Gibson at 1.12 in that earned run average.
It's the lowest earned run average ever for a starter through his first 9 starts. It's broken back down the right field line, slicing and foul. So Pham, who cracked his bat, wound up hitting it a long way foul, and it's 0-2.
So as we talked about in the open, Gary, what would be the approach of the adjustments from the Padres? And I said to go up the middle, and there's Pham going down the right field line.
Sounded like he broke it, apparently not. Well, remember, Fernando Tatis reached out and doubled to right field against DeGrom in the game in San Diego, one of the 3 hits against Jake. And Pham takes a slider off the plate, and it's 1-2. You can't get Pham to chase very much. He has the 3rd lowest chase percentage in the major leagues. Great walk to strikeout ratio. And he manages to foul that away and keep it 1-2.
And your Lexus Metropolitan defense, VR has been a constant there. 31st start at third base for VR, and he has been stellar at that position. And in the outfield, Billy McKinney has brought some speed out in right field, and a good glove, and Pilar is solid in center.
1-2 coming, and Pham goes down swinging, and DeGrom's got a strikeout to start the night.
So he threw him the changeup here. He dropped the old changeup out of the strike zone, and there's your grip, your circle change. And after you've seen 5 pitches and they haven't seen the changeup, you got 2 strikes on you. That's a tough one.
With that out, DeGrom has now retired 26 consecutive first inning batters. So he's 1 out away from a first inning perfect game. Fernando Tatis Jr., the hitter. And Tatis takes a fastball low for ball 1. Tatis 1 for 5 against DeGrom. He still doesn't have enough plate appearances to qualify for the league leaders in any of the percentage categories, but Tatis is tied for 2nd in the league in home runs, tied for 1st in stolen bases, 5th in RBIs. And DeGrom misses just below the knees at 101.
And DeGrom kind of wanted that one, a borderline knee strike.
Jake in his last start threw 33 pitches 100 miles an hour or harder, most ever since they started tracking. He averaged 100.4 with his fastball, the fastest since they ever started tracking. Broken bat foul ball, 2-1.
Did you see Tatis' reaction? He slammed his hand on the barrel of the bat. The ball's outside. Swung at a bad pitch. And I got to believe it probably won't happen very often, but if it's a 3-0 count, I got to believe that Jace Tingler is going to give his big hitters the hit sign.
Jake Cronenworth on deck. And Tatis fouls back with fastball, and it's 2-2. Coming into the night, Jake had thrown 121 pitches of 100 miles an hour or harder. No starting pitcher in the majors had thrown more than 10, and he had 121. He's taken his velocity game to an entirely different level to go with his command. 2-2. And he buries that one in the dirt, and it's 3-2.
That's his second changeup right there. He's got such good movement on his changeup, and he's got such great command on his slider, Gary. He does this a lot on purpose to get the hitters to chase. If they don't, he's not afraid to go after them.
3-2 coming to Tatis. And he struck him out. Went to the slider on 3-2. And DeGrom's got back-to-back strikeouts to start the night. And he's now retired 27 consecutive hitters in the first inning.
And that is a tremendous slider, folks.
And the first MVP chant of the night begins. Mets have played just a third of the season. And through that third, you'd have to say that DeGrom is right in that MVP conversation. So is the guy he just struck out. So 2 out. Now Jake Cronenworth. Let's put 3 on the right side against Cronenworth, and he pops one up. Lindor with an easy play. And that retires the side. 1-2-3 opening inning for Jacob DeGrom. Blake Snell goes to the mound when we come back. Time to check out the T-Mobile coverage cam, and what a great sight that is. Capacity increased to 33,000 plus for the game tonight. And more fans than we've seen at Citi Field in a long time have made their way in tonight to watch the Mets. Here's your Geico Mets starting lineup. Luis Guillorme activated off the injured list today, but with a lefty on the mound, he will come off the bench. Jonathan Villar stays in that leadoff spot. Pete Alonso, 3 home runs in the last 2 games. Mets come off a 6 home run game in Baltimore on Wednesday.
And there's the Land Rover numbers for Blake Snell. Of course, the Cy Young Award winner. Back in 2018, he went 21-5. Having a tough time, but his last start was brilliant.
That was against the Mets. He had a no-hitter through 6 innings, didn't allow a base runner until the 5th. Francisco Lindor had the only hit against Snell in that 7-inning outing, which was his longest as a Padre. Jonathan Villar, 3 for 5 against Snell in his career. And he takes up and away 1-1.
Snell's coming out throwing hard, too.
Snell threw his fastball more in his last start than he is accustomed to. For the season, throws his fastball just 46%. He threw 60% fastballs in that last start against the Mets, and very few changeups.
He threw that fastball, too, when he was in trouble with that leadoff single, an error, 2-base error. He had a runner on third base with nobody out, pitched out of it, and went after Alonso. Garrett really showed me something. He just went after him with fastballs and got him to pop up.
And Villar skips out of the way of a slider, and it's 2-2. So here's the difference between Snell normally 46% fastballs, 17% changeups against the Mets. 60% fastballs, only 3% changeups. Statcast powered by Google Cloud. So we'll see if he changes the game plan at all today, facing the Mets a second straight start. Villar chops one up the line. If it stays fair, it's a hit, and it will be a hit. Snell did not let that ball roll any farther. There was no way he was going to have a play on Villar. And Jonathan has an infield hit to start the night.
And the defense for the San Diego Padres, a 2-time Gold Glover over there at third, Machado, who made some really fine plays and showed his glove in that series in San Diego. And Pham, of course, out in left field. Will Myers, more out in familiar territory, out in right field, his 43rd start in right.
So it took the Mets till the 7th inning to get a hit against Snell last Friday night. Now they have a hit to start the game, and here's Lindor, who had the only hit against Snell last time. If you'll remember, Snell had a no-hitter through 6, and Lindor hit a liner to left, and Pham kind of got caught in between, being a hero and saving the no-hitter and simply playing it on the bounce and let it go by him to the wall, and that created the situation Keith was talking about, with a runner at third and nobody out. And Snell was able to get out of it.
He was fired up after that inning, too, getting out of that jam.
And it was a 1-0 game at the time, too.
Correct.
There's the changeup for a strike, and it's 1-1. Well, Blake Snell grew up in Seattle. Big fan of Jamie Moyer. Who chose Moyer over Randy Johnson as a role model, which I find interesting. The Verizon player profile. Dad was a minor league pitcher, never made it to the big leagues. He was a right-hander, Dave Snell. Lindor hits it hard, should be 2. Machado to Kim and on to Cronenworth. Hard hit ball for a 5-4-3 double play.
Well, hang with him right there. Can't guide the ball once it leaves your bat, but that was right at Machado. Easy 5-4-3. Always loved the round the horn double play.
Machado took his time. He knew that even with Lindor running, the ball was hit so hard, he had plenty of time to turn the double play. So 2 out and nobody on. Now James McCann. McCann had another good game on Wednesday. He was on base 3 times, had a couple of hits. Mets scored a season high 14 runs on Wednesday and hit a season high 6 home runs. McCann takes it wide for ball one. McCann over the last 10 games has driven in 12 runs, and he's hitting .368.
Well, he's got his average up to 235 after just a real tough start.
Has a home run in his career against Snell. Reaches for the changeup and fouls it off 1-1. Well, we talked about Machado's defense. He was some of it from that series last weekend.
Well, you know what? When you're a great fielder, you've got good hands. Look at the backhand. Smooth. The throw on the run. Right there. Look at the double play. That's a tough throw right there. That was impressive.
Part of what's always impressed us about Machado is that he can throw from any angle accurately. And not every infielder has that ability.
When you throw from the side like that, you're going to throw a ball that sinks. So you notice how in that double play, Garrett, then that backhand that he threw to the left field side of second base, knowing that the ball would come back to the second baseman.
Well, already in this game, Snell is throwing his changeup a lot more than he did in the start last week against the Mets. Fires the fastball and McCann fouls it off.
Well, he wanted that fastball in and got it outer half. Good cut by McCann. McCann's much more aggressive lately, Garrett, and that's a result of his little hot streak here. And I shouldn't say little hot streak. A hot streak. When you feel good at the plate, you take more aggressive swings.
McCann making like Keith Hernandez and stepping out as the airplane flies over.
Yes.
The flight patterns tonight, I noticed we were allowed down on the field for the first time since 2019, and I noticed the planes were flying over like they used to at Shea. 1-2 coming. And the curveball in the dirt, 2-2.
They just wanted to get in on the action.
You think doing a little sightseeing from above? On your left is Citi Field, home of the New York Mets.
I always love those pilots that would always say, on your left is the Grand Canyon.
You couldn't have seen that it was the Grand Canyon on your own? Need a tour guide?
You could have fallen asleep.
And McCann goes down swinging on the curveball. Snell's got his first strikeout, and the Mets are done in the first. No score after one at Citi Field. Is Lou from Westbury, New York. Go to sny.tv/CHR to enter. Tonight, when runs figure to be at a premium, the two guys who won the Cy Young Award in the National League and American League in 2018 going head-to-head. DeGrom and Snell both looking good in the first inning. Manny Machado will lead off for the Padres as we go to the second. It is a cool night by June 11th standards, just 67 degrees at game time. Cloudy skies.
Well, Machado struck out 3 times in that game DeGrom pitched in San Diego. All fastballs away, just flailed at them.
Well, if you remember, the first time he came up, he got a call strike on a pitch just like that, a fastball just off the corner, and it caused him to swing at that pitch the rest of the night, that fastball just off the plate. Manny Gonzalez calling the balls and strikes tonight, and he gets him to chase the slider, and it's 0-2. Machado, then Will Myers and Jurickson Profar for the Padres, who've lost 8 of their last 11. They just came from a series with the Cubs where they lost 2 of 3. Cubs have been a thorn in their side the last couple of weeks. Three infielders on the left side against Machado. And he flies one out to center. Back a couple of strides is Pilar. One away. Padres are 10 games over 500, but they're in 3rd place in the National League West. Right now, all 3 of those teams, the Giants, the Dodgers, and the Padres, would make it to the postseason. They've already had a no-hitter. They've stolen more bases by far than any team in the majors. They have the best team ERA, which is what's kept them 10 games over 500, while their offense has been in a bit of a brownout.
Yeah, their pitching staff is the only ERA lower than the New York Mets.
Here's Will Myers. He had a good series against the Mets in San Diego, but he's cooled down since. 0 for his last 10.
And Will Myers was a fisherman in that game against DeGrom. And there he was swinging at that bad slider. There you go.
If they prove to you they're going to swing at a pitch that they can't hit, keep throwing it. Oh, 0-2 coming to Myers. And he laid off that time, 1-2. Speaking of aces, not such good news for the Washington Nationals. Max Scherzer just came out of his start tonight after 12 pitches. Apparently injured. 1-2 coming. And he laid off the slider. It's 2-2.
You know, I read an interesting quote, Gary, when I was off last week, and it was from Sandy Koufax. And he said the job of a pitcher is to instill fear into the hitter.
That sounds like a Bob Gibson quote.
But I think what Koufax meant, because he was Mr. Nice Guy, was that fear of my stuff.
Well, this guy would instill that.
Yes.
3-2 coming. And Myers goes down swinging. Third strikeout for DeGrom, 2 down. He just threw him a steady diet of sliders throughout that at bat.
Well, he's going to keep swinging at it. He's going to keep getting it. And just bailing a little bit there. Just has no shot.
So 2 out now. The switch hitting Jurickson Profar continues to play center field for the Padres. Their regular center fielder Trent Grisham still on the injured list with a heel injury. They were hoping to have him back by now. And Profar takes a fastball for a strike. Well, that's the whiff rate, the swing and miss rate against DeGrom's slider, and it has doubled in the last 4 years. It's only become a more devastating pitch.
He has mastered it, Gary. That is why.
Well, I think also, as it's sliced down the left field line, VR with a long run with Smith, and it lands beyond their reach. I think as his velocity goes up, wouldn't it make sense that you have to sell out a little earlier, and maybe that makes the swing and miss against the slider more likely?
I think it's all about he's raised the velocity and he has got the sharpness. Most guys, when they raise the velocity, they lose command. He has not lost command. He can pick those corners apart, Gary.
Not one iota. Profar pops one up on the infield. Lindor says, I'll take it. And he does. 6 up and 6 down for DeGrom to start the night. No score in the second at Citi Field. Jacob DeGrom to start his night with 3 strikeouts. Blake Snell gave up a leadoff infield hit in the first, so that erased on a double play. And he'll face Pete Alonso to lead off the second. Pete had a wonderful time in Baltimore in the 2 games there. Hit 3 home runs in the 2 nights. And he takes a first pitch curveball for a strike from Snell.
They were all breaking balls. And Pete has been very disciplined starting in spring training, Gary. We mentioned it. We noticed it.
Pete didn't get a first inning at bat tonight. Both the games in Baltimore, he had a home run with a man on in the first inning. Last Met to have back-to-back games where he hit a home run with a man on in the first inning. Mike Piazza 21 years ago.
Gosh, it's been 21 years.
And Snell staying with the breaking ball, 1-2. Dom Smith on deck, then Kevin Pillar for the Mets in the second.
Pete hitting .213 against left-handers with 4 home runs, and that's over 47 at-bats.
You take 4 home runs every 47 at-bats against lefties.
Yes.
Fly ball right field. Myers starts in. Now he's under it. 1 out. Well, Snell gave up just 1 hit in that start last Friday, but Keith referenced this. Runner at third, nobody out.
And what did he do? Upstairs fastball. McCann couldn't hold up. Got Pete on a big battle. Finally upstairs with the fastball. The only cutter he threw for the final out, was Drury. And that fired him up. I love to see that kind of performance.
Snell is pitching with 2 extra days rest tonight after going a season-high 7 innings and 101 pitches. Gets the fastball into Dom Smith. Dom went hitless in his last 8 bats in Baltimore. He's hitting .325 against lefties this year. Then again, the lefties are hitting just .115 against Blake Snell. .115.
Yeah, I hear you. 6 for 52 coming into the game.
Dom fouls off the curveball, and it's 1-2.
Well, that's another hanger right there from Snell. He got Pete to fly out to right field on a hanging breaking ball. So that's back-to-back hangers right there.
Manny Machado playing in medium right field in the shift. Saw a lot of that in San Diego, including him tracking down a ball on the warning track to deny Billy McKinney an inside the park home run. Smith strikes out on the high fastball, and that's the second strikeout for Snell. 2 down in the home second.
Right over the top, straight fastball just above the belt, and that seems to be most hitters in today's game's very big weakness.
Nice hand for Kevin Pillar as he steps in. His first time back at Citi Field after getting hit in the face. Returned on the road trip. Got a hit his first time up in Arizona. Had a 2 home run game on Wednesday in Baltimore just to cap off the road trip.
Interesting what he said, quoting that when he was the time off after he got hit, he kind of collected himself and made some adjustments at the plate. He's been hitting like heck since he's come off that beanie, the terrible beanie.
Pillar's got good numbers against Snell. 7 hits in 19 career at bats. And the fastball away, 2-1. Mets are starting a stretch of 33 games in 31 days. The upside of that is that of those 33 games, 22 of them are at Citi Field. Mets have played fewer home games than any team in baseball. I mean, they played fewer games than anybody in baseball, but even by percentage, only 37% of the Mets games have been at home, and that's by far the lowest percentage in the majors. So they are owed a lot of home games. And so far, home has been kind to the Mets. They're 15-5 here. Pillar taps one foul, 3-2.
And they're going to be going on right now. This is the beginning of these, but the first third of the season is over. They've won 30 games on a 90-win clip, Gary. They've missed a lot of games. They need to play, and they're going to get a lot of baseball now this coming month. Right up to the All-Star break.
(3-2) coming. And Pillar takes a fastball, strike 3 call. Third strikeout for Snell. DeGrom and Snell starting to get it rolling. No score. Some of the greatest seasons of all time for starting pitchers. Jacob DeGrom has the lowest ERA through 9 starts, but those other 3, Gibson, who finished at 1.12, Gooden at 1.53, Pedro at 1.74. That's how they began. their historic seasons. Ha-Sung Kim leads off and fouls one back. Pedro's year gets overlooked in 2000, but the fact that he put up a 1.74 ERA right in the heart of the steroid era, he outpitched the league by such an incredible margin. I mean, Doc's numbers stand by themselves, and obviously Gibson's do as well. But that Pedro Martinez 2000 season is another one that everybody should have their eyes on as they watch DeGrom and the history that he's making. Ha-Sung Kim hitting a 208, and he chases a slider for strike 3. 4 strikeouts for DeGrom, and he keeps working that slider to that glove side, and they keep swinging at it.
And he's doing it on purpose. And you're going to keep doing that. You better stop swinging at it, or you haven't got a chance because the bat isn't long enough. It's interesting that Gibson only had in that first 9 games, he had 5 complete games. He wound up that year with 28 complete games.
13 shutouts.
Yes.
Victor Caratini has given Jake some trouble in the past. In fact, he's one of only 5 players ever to hit 2 home runs in a game against DeGrom. He did that as a Cub in 2019. He only has 19 career home runs, and the only pitcher he has 2 against is DeGrom. And Jake misses just inside, and he's behind Caratini 2-0.
That's 2 left-hand hitters that he's popped inside. Profar, he did it first pitch. And I'm always surprised that Jake doesn't do that more. Just throw a fastball that's 6 inches inside where he can't get hurt. Just let the hitter know I'm coming in once in a while.
Well, he'll do that against the lefties. That's flared on the infield, and Lindor is there to grab it. 2 out. So 8 up and 8 down for DeGrom. By the way, the other players who've hit 2 home runs in a game against Jake: Mark Teixeira, Giancarlo Stanton, Mitch Garver did that with the Twins, and Andrew Stevenson for the Nationals. So now it's Snell, who had a hit against the Mets in his start last week. I'm sorry, he had a sacrifice against the Mets. He has 1 hit this season. Spectrum Mobile high-speed pitch. He hasn't lost any of those yet, nor is he likely to anytime soon. 1-1 to Snell. You see Marcus Stroman doing a lot of pantomiming like that between pitches. You don't see DeGrom do it that often. And he gets the slider over for a strike, and it's 1-2.
That's not fair. It's a pitcher up there. Dropping a hammer on him like that.
There's no fellowship here. And he takes care of Snell with a high fastball. 3 perfect innings for Jacob DeGrom. 5 strikeouts first time through the order. What a duel we've got going here. Doug and Keith discuss the secret of the Mets' success so far this season. Plus, they weigh in on Pete Alonso crushing baseballs and baseball on the latest Shea Anything podcast presented by Verizon. Subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. You going to let me in on the secret if you discuss it with Doug, or you save it for the podcast?
I can't give it away, Garrett. Ratings.
Billy McKinney will lead off the bottom of the 3rd, coming off a 2-home-run game on Wednesday in Baltimore.
Well, he's just been doing a terrific job. What I like about McKinney, Gare, is the fact that he's got a very fast bat. He's very quick. And when you have a fast bat, you've got a chance. Now, I know he hasn't really got taken off offensively. He's only had really 1 year in Toronto where he got a chance to play and didn't do well. But when you got quick hands like him, You got a chance. He could be a late bloomer.
Well, he's a former #1 draft pick. He got off to a decent start with the Brewers this year and then tailed off. And when they had some people coming off the injured list, he was a victim of the numbers game, and that's how the Mets got McKinney. 12 games so far for the Mets. His OPS as a Met is over 1,000, 1,041 coming into the night. So
8 extra base hits of his 11 hits, Gare. So he's driven in 11 runs.
I mean, everybody is thrilled with what McKinney has done, and now the question is going to become over the next few weeks whether he can take a spot on the bench behind, Conforto and Pilar and Smith as the regular outfield when Conforto's able to come back.
Can he play center field?
He has in the minor leagues.
Could set
not
up
so
a
much
nice,
in the major leagues.
Could set up a nice platoon.
Yep.
I mean, it looks like Peraza and Guillorme, who's back now, are going to set up a nice platoon at second base until McNeil comes back.
Seems like that's the plan. A lot of moving parts right now as the Mets starting to get some people healthy. And McKinney takes the fastball high from Snell. Billy's hitting .219 against lefties this year.
And McKinney, too, as a Met, a small sample of 2 for 10 with a home run against left-handers. But he's got quick hands.
And Snell falls behind for a rare time tonight. I'll say Peraza on deck, and then Jacob DeGrom. DeGrom hitting 9th tonight after hitting 8th in his last start. I guess they figure lefty.
He's 4 for 8 against lefties here.
Well, then scratch that. Three infielders on the right side against McKinney. Machado back into that medium right field position. And that slider caught the corner, and it's 2-1.
That's a pretty nasty pitch right there. 2-0. Hard slider on the corner. Good one to take. There it is, right there. I mean, that's it. The borderline. He got the call. That's not one to swing at. 2-0.
And that sails beyond Caratini, and Manny Gonzalez, the home plate umpire, was fortunate to be able to duck out of the way.
A couple of fastballs around. About 4 fastballs have gotten away from Snell up in the strike zone. That was the worst one. It's probably pumped up, whenever you're up against a quality pitcher. First place team.
3-1 coming. And he has a call, strike 3 and 2. Plus, there has to be a little extra adrenaline rush for all these guys tonight, playing before this large a crowd for the first time in a long time.
I'm just wondering who's more excited, the players or the crowd?
The crowd is definitely amped. You can hear it every time DeGrom gets to 2 strikes. It's like Gooden in the old days. 3-2, and McKinney takes strike 3 call. Just as Pilar did down the second inning, McKinney goes down looking at a fastball. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Snell, 4 for the night.
Well, he had a 3-1 count. He took a fastball all the way. He was taking. Like to see him swing. He's hot. Don't go. You're leading off. Don't look for a walk.
The one he should be a little more upset about is the 2-0 pitch that was off the plate, and Snell got a strike call. Should have been 3-0, but that last pitch was too close to take on 3-2. So 1 out now. Jose Peraza. Peraza floats one to the right side, short hopped by Kim, and he throws to first. They called him out on the fly, but that certainly looked like it bounced, didn't it?
I thought it bounced.
But the second base umpire, Laz Diaz, called it an out in the air. Let's see.
That's 4-3.
Yeah, that bounced.
That's 4-3 on your scorecard.
Well, that's what you're looking at. Well, they called it 4 unassisted, and that has gone into the books. So now DeGrom. They're chanting MVP again. DeGrom took an 0-for in his last start. 9 for 23 to start the year. And as Keith points out, 4 for 8 against lefties.
Is there any weakness in his game?
High fastball, just like everybody else.
He has got a little uppercut, a little launch angle on that stroke.
Don't they all?
He doesn't have a home run, though, Gary.
He has 3 in his career.
Yes, he does.
And he bounces one down to first, and Cronenworth will take it himself, and that retires the side. So Snell's faced the minimum through 3. Pitchers duel going. No score. Jacob DeGrom perfect through 3 for the 13th time in his career. You know, a Met fan of a certain age is familiar with the expression, the monster's out of the cage. Well, for us, that means that Steve Gelbs has been released from TV Aux 2, and he is out in the open. Steve, how are you tonight?
Yep, I'm out in the wild here tonight, Garen. It's great down here on the field. The fan base is just, it's electric out here tonight. But I want to direct you to these numbers right here when it comes to Jacob DeGrom. One of the things that makes DeGrom so tough is that he can be any pitcher at any given time. Look at this first column, first time through the order this year. Jacob DeGrom has been pumping fastballs, throwing fastballs 79% of the time. That was the same thing that he did against this same Padres team on Saturday night, throwing 81% fastballs first time through the order. Today, 6 days later, though, completely flipped the script through just 54% first pitch fastballs, relying more on that slider and even throwing in a couple of changeups there that first time through. How do you prepare for a guy like that?
Well, I think he's like an automobile. And that first time through the order, he just kind of warming the engine up, just airing it out, fine tuning. I mean, we have noticed it up here, Gary, in his starts that, you know, he comes out that first time through the order throwing the heater.
And throwing it more, Keith, than he ever has first time through. The most he's ever touched in terms of first time through the order fastballs in his career in any season was just about 60%. So he's thrown it about 20% more of the time this season.
Why not? He's throwing it harder than ever. Tommy Pham at the plate fouls off the fastball at 99, 1-2. It's the 3rd time this season that DeGrom has been perfect through 3 innings. Both starts against Arizona. And then tonight. By the way, we had given you the stat earlier about DeGrom in the first inning. He's now retired 28 in a row in the first inning. 1-2 coming to Pham, and he lays off. The record as far back as they can only go back right now to 1974 to check. The record for consecutive batters retired in the first inning is 32 since then. So Jake is within range of that. Pham just got a piece. Chris Sale had a stretch of retiring 32 straight first inning batters, and Matt Garza in 2010 did the same. And Jake's now at 28. I mean, it just sets an incredible tone when you're able to blow a team away in the first inning the way Jake has in every start except his first this year. Tatis and Cronenworth to follow, and Pham fouls off a fastball.
Well, it looks like Pham has really been kind of made probably I think the necessary adjustment off of a great pitcher with great stuff like DeGrom. You see, he's a little more crouched. And it's very apparent to me that he is trying to go up the middle.
He's done a great job this year, Pham has, of staying in the strike zone. Swings at the 3rd fewest pitches in baseball and chases the 3rd fewest. The chase rate is under 19%. But he goes down swinging this time. Change up from DeGrom to get Pham for the first out in the 4th.
2 times now Pham goes down. He says, you got to shake your head if you're a hitter. You know, you fought off and tough sliders, fouled off fastballs, really cognizant of that slider, and then he has this other weapon here, Gary. It's fun to watch. He is a class of all by himself.
10 up and 10 down with 6 strikeouts for Jake. Here's Fernando Tatis. Tatis struck out his first time up. Changeup running in on him. So that's the rare time that Jake will go arm side. Such a high percentage of his pitches are to the glove side. That time he ran the changeup inside to Tatis. And then goes away with a slider, and it's 1-2. Struck him out. DeGrom for the second straight time gets Tatis with a slider, and that's 7 of the first 11 batters that Jake has fanned.
Well, Tatis looks befuddled. Look how out in front he is. And letting go with one hand, no rotation. That is just a broom sweep right there of a swing.
Jake Cronenworth, who popped up on the infield his first time, and he takes a fastball for a strike.
Another fastball up and into a left-hander, Gary, leading him off.
Ooh, that fastball right by him up in the strike zone. It's 0-2.
Yeah, well, Cronenworth's got that low ball swing. Not going to touch that fastball upstairs.
Cronenworth lays off the changeup, and it's 1-2. Biggest crowd in 2 years at Citi Field, and they are loving every minute of this. One-two. Just inside. 2-2. It wasn't this loud in San Diego, I can tell you that. Cronenworth able to foul off the fastball.
Right back after him inside, but he got that one down.
Machado would be next.
Secondary pitch is on its way, Garrett. Just what he wants to throw, whatever he wants to throw, whether it's the slider or the combo, we'll see.
Two coming to Cronenworth. And he carves one foul. Another fastball.
He's feeling good. Another heater at 100.
Cronenworth's a tough guy to strike out. Has one of the highest contact rates in baseball, over 87%. 5th in the majors. Struck him out. Well, with the back foot slider, and Jacob DeGrom strikes out the side in the 4th inning. What a gorgeous view of New York Harbor.
Oh, wow.
Lady Liberty in the foreground.
Look how placid the mouth of the Hudson is.
Second time through the order for Blake Snell. VR hooks one deep, but foul. VR cranking that one on a first pitch curveball from Snell. VR has the only hit in this game. He's been the only base runner in this game. He topped one up the third baseline that Snell picked up and had to put in his pocket for an infield hit. VR was erased in a double play, and that's been it on both sides. Line left field, falling fast, base hit, and VR is 2 for 2. Off speed pitch from Snell, and VR is aboard to start the bottom of the 4th.
Just didn't get that changeup away enough. Actually, it's not a bad pitch. That's just pretty good hitting. You got to tip your hat there. Now you got a guy who can steal a base at first. We'll see if it has any effect on Snell. Didn't last time.
Well, Lindor hit a bullet his first time up, 106 miles an hour off the bat, but right at the third baseman Machado, who started the 5-4-3 double play. Snell has had Lindor's number over the years. Francisco's just 2 for 19 against him. So the Mets already have more hits in this game against Snell than they did last Friday.
And here's the first throw over.
VR 6 stolen bases this year. Has been caught 4 times. Former National League stolen base champion. And Lindor tries to lay off the high fastball and stopped it in time. Jeff Nelson with the call. 1-0. Lindor had an 8-game hitting streak, stopped during the last road trip. Now 1 for 10 since then.
He still hasn't got untracked, Garrett. He's been long with his swing from both sides of the plate. He's walking more, getting his base hits, but he hasn't found a hot streak, a real hot streak yet.
And VR almost leaning the wrong way. Lindor fouls one straight back. 1-1. In a game like this, 1 run is of such great import. Lindor in some of these situations already this year has taken it upon himself to bunt. I don't think he's even thinking about that in this spot. Snell worked at a rapid pace last week, more rapid than he normally does, and he had tonight until VR just got aboard. He's a guy who generally languishes between pitches, but they were after him to pick up his pace a little bit, and he did in that start last Friday. He was able to get through 7 innings for the first time. James McCann hitting 3rd in the order tonight, waiting on deck. Two and 1 to Lindor. There goes VR. Pitch outside from his knees. Caratini not in time. VR steals the base, his 7th of the year.
He beat it.
Cronenworth wanted them to check out the video, but certainly appeared from here that VR got his hand in.
I didn't think it was going to be this close, Garrett.
Kim waiting for the throw. And they will not challenge the call. Hop just came up far enough for VR to get his hand in before the tag. 7 steals now for VR, 7 of the Mets' 20 for the season. So he's in scoring position with nobody out. A 3-1 count to Lindor. Mets had only 3 stolen bases in April, 17 in May and June combined. And Lindor cracks one out to left center, cutting across his fan, and gets there to make the catch, tagging at second. VR then thinks better of it and goes back to the bag.
Boy,
VR kicking himself, because if he had taken off for third, he would have made it.
Oh my gosh, Pham throwing behind the runner. You can't allow the advancement there. I mean, the VR doesn't. The last place VR thinks he's going to throw it. You don't want the runner advancing.
Yeah, he claps his hand because he knows that if he had taken off, he would have made it with Pham throwing behind him.
Well, he slipped off the bag. He wasn't sure, maybe, but boy, oh boy, the Padres got away with one right there. Wow.
So VR remains at second with one out for James McCann. I think you're right, Keith. I think he was intending to go until his foot slipped, or at least to take a few hard steps and see where Pham threw the ball.
And then he wasn't sure if he came off the bag before it was caught.
Right. McCann struck out his first trip. Goes after a first pitch changeup, 0-1.
So a failure to get the runner over in a game where you got two aces on the mound. It could be a 1-0 ball game, 3-1 count. Boy, you're in the middle part of the game, bottom of the fourth.
Snell runs the fastball inside, 1-1. Pete Alonso waiting on deck. Snell had really been struggling going into his start against the Mets. He had been knocked out in the fourth inning in each of his two prior starts. Had an ERA in those two games over 16, but he was just spectacular against the Mets last Friday. And now matched up against DeGrom tonight in an airtight duel. Going away with the fastball, and it's 2-1. McCann has 3 of his 6 home runs against lefties this year. He's been a lefty killer over the course of the last couple of seasons, playing in Chicago. And he has been a hot hitter lately. Caratini checking out the cheat sheet. We're going to go with the first set of signs. Now Snell has to check his pocket to make sure he knows what the first set of signs is.
Well, I hope the shortstop and the second baseman know too.
Well, they've got the same cheat sheet.
Well, did they pull it out of their back pocket? I don't know. Maybe they don't need to.
It's like pulling a rabbit out of the hat. You didn't make sure it's the right hat.
I've had enough of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
And McCann swings over the curveball, and Caratini keeps it in front of him, 2-2. Deep in thought. And McCann lays off a high heat, 3-2. With runners in scoring position this year, Snell has allowed a .228 batting average, which is a little bit higher than the overall average against him. It's just looking to scratch one and get DeGrom a lead. 3-2 coming. And he missed with a 3-2 curveball, and now there are 2 men on for Alonso. Interesting choice by Snell. Now time for a word from the Home Depot.
Join Pro Extra to save time, save money, and get rewarded. Heavy hitters score with the Home Depot's Built for Pros loyalty program.
Blake Snell issues his first walk of the night. What do you think of that pitch choice? 3-2 curveball with Alonso coming up next.
He started him out with 2 breaking balls. The first at bat, down and in, that Pete whiffed at. Well, this is the one thing we know is that Snell is fearless, because that inning that he pitched out of in San Diego, he went after Pete with fastballs.
Pete flied out to right his first time up tonight. VR at second, McCann at first with 1 out. Mets with their first scoring threat of the night, and Alonso takes a fastball off the plate for ball 1. Pete's hit 3 home runs in the last 2 games. 9 of his 10 home runs this year have come on the road. His only Citi Field home run, April 25th. That was off a lefty, Patrick Corbin of the Nats. He's been locked in since coming off the injured list. He had been suffering with a bruised hand for a couple of weeks. Finally sat out for 10 days. And since coming back, he's hitting .371 with 12 RBIs in 9 games. And Alonso takes a fastball low, so he's thrown 2 fastballs to start him off, but 1 outside and 1 down below the knees.
Well, get a little dicey here, didn't it? This is what separates the well, I won't dare say that, but this is what separates the good ones from the average ones.
Snell was struggling with his control coming into the start against the Mets last week. He's still up over 5 walks per 9 innings. Just walked McCann. Now he's 2-0 to Alonso. And Pete lays off the changeup.
Oh boy, that's a strike. Oh, he's hot. Gosh, he made a pitch and didn't get the call. I'd let Pete take a hack.
Oh, for sure he's got the green light.
My goodness. Manny.
.3-0 from Snell to Alonso. And it's well outside ball 4. So Snell looked a little bit bent out of shape after that 3rd ball and missed badly with ball 4. And that'll send Larry Rothschild, the veteran pitching coach, out to the mound to talk to Snell, who has now loaded the bases on a single and 2 walks.
Good time to visit. Larry Rothschild been around for so long. One of the best pitching coaches. And just calm him down. He didn't get the call. He made a pitch.
And so Dom Smith will get the opportunity with the bases loaded and 1 out. See if Larry has anything to say to Manny Gonzalez on his way off. Apparently not. So Snell's painted himself into a corner here with back-to-back walks to McCann and Alonso. He struck out Dom Smith his first time up. VR at 3rd, McCann at 2nd, and Alonso at 1st with 1 out. Scoreless game in the 4th. And Dom with a check swing tapper. Snell comes home out there. Caratini to first for the 1-2-3 double play. And Snell finds his way out of it on a check swing comebacker. No score after 4. Smith was looking for with the bases loaded.
No, not at all, Gare. And what Snell has is 2 types of curveballs. And Dom looking for a fastball first pitch. Snell can change speeds with his slider. And look how out in front Dom got. Flew open his front shoulder. That's what he's been doing for quite a bit most of the season, as he's trying to correct. But really a great pitch with the bases loaded, 1 out.
So that keeps it a scoreless game and hands it back to DeGrom. who's faced 12, retired them all, striking out 8 of the 12. We'll get Manny Machado to lead off in the 5th. Machado has hit one of the few fair balls against DeGrom, flat out to center field. That's been the only outfield putout. That came leading off in the 2nd. And a first pitch changeup down for ball 1. Will Myers on deck, then Jerison Profar for the Padres, who have not been scoring runs lately. Their last 17 games, they have a team batting average of .204. And they're 7-10 over that stretch. A ball and a strike to Machado. Padres pitching has carried them. Their defense has been tremendous too, but their offense has been spotty. They've got the 2 big bats of Tatis and Machado. And they flipped them in the batting order tonight. Put Tatis up in the 2 hole, Machado for it.
And they got a 3rd guy that's on the bench tonight, which I can't understand. And that would be Eric Hosmer. And a left-handed bat.
Hosmer's getting more off time this year, 34 years old.
He's a hitter and quite a fielder at first base. 4 Gold Gloves.
And again, they're missing their leadoff hitter, Trent Grisham, who makes a huge difference in their offense when he's healthy. Over the mound, and there's Peraza playing perfectly to throw out Machado, 1 away. 8 strikeouts for DeGrom in the first 4 innings tonight.
Well, we're going to see more of the same, folks. We showed you in the open. Change up right there. There it is, slider. Another slider, not a strike. All down, all the way. And there, the only one was the pitcher upstairs. Change up, another slider off the strike zone, another slider back foot.
All glove side, low off the plate.
Yep.
And we showed that from his last start. That's the same area where he got all 11 of his strikeouts in his last start against the Padres.
You know, Gary, you asked me earlier about the velocity and the sharpness of DeGrom's slider, that a hitter has to start early. I say no. If you've got a long swing, and then you have to start early, particularly with a guy with this stuff, because you know you're not squaring it up because you got a long swing, and that'll get you to start quick, and it'll get you to chase the bad breaking ball.
Myers was struck out his first time up. Chased a couple of sliders early and then one late. He was able to lay off a couple here.
Well,
and now it's 3-1.
That's all he fed him the last at bat.
Jurickson Profar on deck. DeGrom's retired the first 13. He's behind on Myers, 3-1. And a check swing foul. Boy, the last thing in the world you want on a 3-1 pitch is to get caught in between like that. Third full count of the night for Jake. First 2 resulted in strikeouts. One of those was Myers. And he fouls away the fastball. It seems very weird to say this for a guy who's throwing 99 miles an hour. His fastball's down a tick tonight.
It's still got life.
I know, but you know what I'm saying?
It's enough.
Established such a ridiculous standard. When he's throwing 99, it's down a tick. Again, the 3-2. Ground ball toward the hole. That'll go through for a base hit. And the collective groan from 30,000 at Citi Field as Myers found the hole in the shift for the first base hit of the night for San Diego.
Well, there's a guy that made an adjustment, and he got a hanger there. But look at the whole right side of the infield available for you. That's just a hanger right there, one of the few hangers. And he's just completely sold out to go to the opposite field, which DeGrom knows he made a boo-boo.
Yeah, but pitchers also, you know, for most of their lives, that ground ball is an easy 4-3 put out.
Yes, it is.
It's just not anymore. Now, you know, the compensation is he gets outs in the shift that he wouldn't otherwise, but still the visceral reaction of the pitcher is, oh. That's where the second baseman has always played.
Well, it's like anything else. When you get out of an inning with the shift in your favor, where it would have been a base hit,
right?
But
you don't think of it that way.
It's more glaring when it happens like that.
Jurickson Profar popped up his first time up. DeGrom working from the stretch for the first time tonight. Myers can sneak a stolen base every now and again. He's got 4 this year. And he's running up and in. The throw by McCann right on the money, and he got him. McCannon.
Boy, what a difference this makes to have a throwing catcher. And Met fans, over the years that stolen bases have been a big problem for the Mets. And also give our Met pitchers credit for holding runners on better. But you've got 2 catchers in McMahon and Nito that can throw.
8th caught stealing for McCann this year. 8 out of 25. It's a nice percentage. 32%. So 2 out and nobody on. A 2-0 count to Profar. And it's popped up. Third base side in foul ground. VR has room and makes the catch. The ball bucket got knocked over, and there were baseballs rolling out toward him as he was trying to catch the ball. He was fortunate to avoid the baseballs and make the play. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Fans out in force tonight. With attendance restrictions rolled back. Biggest crowd in 2 years for the Mets. And it strikes me that today is Steve Cohen's first birthday as Mets owner. And you could not have asked for a better birthday present.
How about that?
Than the crowd that has made its way to Citi Field tonight and the atmosphere that's generated. So happy birthday, Steve. Pilar took a call, third strike his first time up. McKinney and Peraza to follow. Mets had their chance in the 4th inning against Snell with the bases loaded, but he got the comebacker for a double play. Pilar lines one toward the left field corner, and that's down for a base hit. Cut off nicely though by Pham. Pilar's going to try for 2. Pham's throw and the tag. He's safe. Pilar hustles a double, and the Mets have a runner at second with nobody out.
Got on top of this high pitch. We don't see it too often. Let's see if Pham just kind of took his time there a little bit, Gare, to collect himself and did not display a strong arm.
Well, I think that's why he felt he needed to set himself so he could get off his best throw, but Pilar never hesitated coming around first base.
And Pilar is always a hustler. And here he is right in the middle of it again. And will they put the bunt on with McKinney?
Keep in mind the jeopardy that he puts himself in when he does that, too. He's not wearing the mask when he's at home plate. So when he's diving headfirst into second base with that still broken nose, he has no protection against a tag that might come up or the ball hitting him. McKinney hits one over the bag. That's a fair ball. Off the sidewalk, the Mets will take the lead. Pilar in to score. McKinney in standing with an RBI double, and it's 1-0 New York. After Pilar's hustle, McKinney jumps on the very next pitch to give the Mets the lead.
Well, what I've seen from McKinney so far, I mentioned, is a fast bat. And he just turns on that one down the line, and he continues his 12th run he's driven in.
So back-to-back doubles by Pilar and McKinney produced the first run of the game.
His 9th extra base hit as a Met. And 12 hits.
Now Jose Peraza cut by Peraza. The first baseman, Cronenworth, when that pitch was thrown, was about 5 feet in on the grass, as though Peraza were going to try to sacrifice with the pitcher on deck. I know it's Jacob DeGrom, but you don't sacrifice with the pitcher on deck.
And they got a veteran hitter up there who knows how to advance a runner.
Now Cronenworth has moved back about 20 feet from where he was.
He's in nowhere's land right now.
I just don't understand why you would be in on the grass on that first pitch.
Big right side of the infield open where it's situational hitter and Peraza.
Exactly.
I would not give that right side of the infield up.
Peraza fouls one away, and it's 0-2. Well, the Mets bypassed a chance in the 4th inning, but they jump on Snell here in the 5th. DeGrom on deck. He's got his run. Jake has not allowed a run now in 21 consecutive innings, including the 5 tonight. Up and away to Peraza, and it's 1-2. Looks like Peraza and Luis Guillorme, for the time being, are going to be platooning at second base, with Jonathan Villar staying at third and playing every day until the Mets get some of their regulars back. Jeff McNeil's going to start a rehab stint this weekend. Could be back as early as next weekend. In the dirt, and Caratini knocks it down with the chest protector.
Well, that's a tough block right there, big time. That's in front of home plate. Look how he I just got to get my body in front of this and hope.
Centered himself perfectly to take the sting out of that ball. McKinney at second with nobody out, with a run home here in the 5th. And Peraza stays alive. Tomorrow afternoon, late afternoon start. Marcus Stroman goes for the Mets. Joe Musgrove pitches for the Padres. Sunday, the former Padre Joey Lucchesi faces his old team again, up against Chris Paddock.
Boy, Musgrove had as good a stuff for 5 innings as I've seen. Hard slider and throws hard. Then he just started hanging that slider in the 6th inning, and the Mets got him.
With up home runs to Peraza and Lindor. And Peraza lays off the curveball. Good at bat here for Peraza. He works the count full.
Peraza, there's Larry Rothschild right there. Peraza multitasking, Gary. He's just chewing that gum like a cow on cut while he's swinging the bat.
No doubt relaxes him, Keith.
I understand. I could never do that. And I'm impressed.
Some of us have trouble walking and chewing gum, much less hitting 95-mile-an-hour fastballs. Three and 2 to Peraza with DeGrom on deck. And Jose lays off the ball 4. Well, he threw him a 2-2 curve and a 3-2 curve, and he issues his 3rd walk in the last 6 batters. And so DeGrom will come up with 2 men on, and maybe this is where Jacob is asked to bunt.
I think Louis will be looking where the corner infielders will position themselves. Will Cronenworth play aggressively in, which it doesn't look like he is, so I got to put the bunt on. He's just on the cut of the grass.
You got a Gold Glove third baseman in Machado. If you bunt it too hard to him, he might try and get 2 by way of second.
He might give him 1 pitch to swing.
Jacob grounded out his first time up. The corners come crashing in. He gives himself up and then pulls the bat back and tries the butcher boy, but comes up empty. You hear the crowd react in real time, the way they groaned when they saw him score a bunt and the way they cheered when he pulled the bat back. This crowd is unbelievable.
Isn't it nice?
They want to see Jake swing. 9 hits, 3 RBIs this year.
He'll be bunting here.
And a turn toward first. It's a balk. Cronenworth was not on the bag, and so Snell held the ball, and the balk moves runners to second and third.
And
Kim had gone to cover second, and I think they called for a pickoff throw to second, but Snell thought they had called for a pickoff throw to first, and so he looked the wrong way and balked.
I don't know if Snell knew.
You see, Kim is on second. Well, you can't see in this shot.
Why would you go to first in the first place, Gary?
You wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. They sent him a sign. Kim was standing at second base, and he looked at first. So now the infield has to come in. And DeGrom lays off the high fastball. So things getting discombobulated for Blake Snell. He's given up 3 hits and 2 doubles to the last 5 batters, and now his 3rd career balk.
In the meantime, this is a real tough, hard-working inning for Snell.
And DeGrom with a good cut. Fouls it back 1-2. Well, this is when Jake showed bunt and then pulled the bat back. Watch Machado.
Watch Machado. Yep, and you just got to get ready. You come in, you got to get ready.
Keith, he didn't look like he was getting ready. He looked like he was trying to go home.
He looked like a matador.
Whoa. Now Snell really needs a strikeout. Ahead on DeGrom 1-2. And he runs one to left field for a base hit. McKinney is in. Peraza being waved home. He will score. Jacob DeGrom drives in a pair, and it's 3-0 New York. All night long, the big crowd has been chanting MVP, and DeGrom keeps giving them reasons to keep yelling.
Just a little cut and slash here, but 2 strikes, Gary, off a tough lefty. Remember, lefties were hitting 115 off of Snell. And boy, the Mets have just kind of blown it up, and Snell saying he's kicking himself for that balk.
Snell out after 4 innings plus. DeGrom with his 10th hit now has 5 RBIs, and he's got a 3-0 lead. We'll be right back. Austin Adams out in relief for the Padres. Faced the Mets a couple of times last weekend.
Slider ball, pitcher. Slider, slider, slider.
He comes in to face Jonathan Villar with DeGrom at first, and Machado is way in at third base. And Villar swinging, fouls off the slider, 0-1. So go back to the balk and look at the miscommunication here.
Well, watch the second baseman. Where's the play supposed to go? And it just shows me that Snell does not know the rule that you can't throw to an unoccupied base. And first base was not occupied. Cronenworth was in.
I mean, we'll find out more about this later. I'm sure it'll be a topic of conversation after the game with the Padre writers. But I am almost certain that what happened was that the dugout signaled for a pickoff throw. And for whatever reason, Snell thought that it meant throw to first and didn't even think that that was not the right place to go. And you could see after the balk, he looked over at Kim as if to say, oh, I was supposed to throw to you.
Who are you going to fool in that play? When the first baseman's in.
Villar slices one out to left, and Pham is there. And that's the first out of the inning. DeGrom back to first.
So, Gary, usually the pickoff plays, when you have runner on first and second, is the first baseman's behind the runner and creeps behind him. But how are you going to fool a runner when he's in and
again,
it's right in front of the view of the runner?
But I think, Keith, again, I think the larger issue here, and this is one of the downsides of managers and coaches directing everything in the game, right, is that pitchers who in years past might have been thinking for themselves about running a pickoff play at second and had communication with their middle infielders. You've got dugouts calling for things, and so the players don't have to think quite as much, and that's the downside risk of having too much direction as opposed to
there's always
thinking
something
for
that
yourself.
There's always something that goes on just about every game that you just befuddles me.
Lindor's grounded into a double play and lined out to left, 0 for 2. Breaks his bat and pulls one foul. And we'll have to go back for a new stick.
The rare fastball right there, Gary.
Chris Williamson and Ian Begley discuss whether the Knicks' current core can stay intact, plus what comes next in terms of upgrading the roster on the latest episode of SNY.TV's digital series, The Putback with Ian Begley. Check it out now on SNY.TV. 30-year-old Austin Adams came up with the Nationals, pitched for them in 17, 18, 19. He was traded to the Mariners and then briefly with San Diego last year, and now his 27th appearance already this year. And he tries to backdoor the slider and misses 2-1. Mets have scored 3 runs here in the 5th inning to knock out Blake Snell, who held them scoreless and with only 1 hit for 7 innings his last time out. But tonight Snell lasts just 4 innings plus. He's allowed 3 runs so far on 5 hits. And Lindor fouls one off the mask of Caratini. Snell walked 3, struck out 4, committed the balk. That set the stage for Jacob DeGrom's 2-run single. Only giving Caratini a little time to feel better after taking a direct shot off his mask on that last foul ball. I don't know, rock your socks. Padres bullpen has been really good this year, with Mark Melancon, probably the best free agent bargain in retrospect, closing games for them. And Lindor gets one in the air to shallow center, and in comes Profar to get it, and that's the second out. So Lindor now 0 for 3. And here comes James McCann. Mets of late have been doing it with the long ball. 22 home runs in their last 10 games, but 3 runs without benefit of a home run so far tonight. Mets offense slowly but surely is coming around, and they've still got a lot of pieces missing.
It has been really remarkable what they have done with all the injuries.
That gets behind Caratini, and DeGrom aggressively goes to second. He was off as soon as that ball came off the mid of Caratini, who's charged with a pass ball. He's just a baseball player.
Well, he used to play shortstop. He knows both sides of the how to play out there and be an everyday player.
And I love watching him run, Keith. He's got such great long strides.
It's like
covers so much ground.
Like a giraffe.
It's like, remember Devon White playing center field?
Yes, I do.
Or Gary Maddox, those great long strides. Yes. That's the way DeGrom runs.
Gary Maddox certainly comes to mind.
And that one hits McCann. An up and in slider. So you've had a balk Give it a pass ball, and now a hit by pitch. And now the Mets have 2 men on for Pete Alonso.
That's not what Adams wanted to do.
Right off the triceps. So now a chance for Alonso to put the hammer down. Pete has flied out and walked tonight, 0 for 1. Batting here with 2 out and 2 on. And slider off the plate from Adams, ball 1. Well, the Mets offense has certainly perked up as the season has gone along. The runs per game have advanced as the slugging percentage has. If you go by overall numbers, the Mets came into the night still second from the bottom in the National League in runs per game, but certainly the trend has been a positive one. And they've done it with a lot of regulars on the shelf. Alonso grounds one slowly, and Tatis in front of it. Makes the play to first to retire the side, but the Mets put up 3 runs, 2 of them driven in by DeGrom, who now has a 3-0 lead. He's doing it all, as he generally does. 10 hits this year in his first 10 starts. First pitcher to do that since Dan Herron in 2010. He's also reached 100 strikeouts this season, faster than any pitcher ever has before. Those are his numbers since the Cy Young run began in 2018. Simply the best in every area. Ha-Sung Kim leads off. DeGrom pitching with the lead for the first time. Gets a fastball in for a strike. Just see how far he is ahead of the major league average. That to me is the stunning part. ERA less than half the league average. 0-2 to Kim. So DeGrom reached 100 strikeouts. He's got 101 right now. Reached 100 strikeouts in 61 2/3 innings. The fewest innings pitched by a starter to reach 100 strikeouts in a single season since the mound was moved to its current distance in 1893.
Wow.
One and 2 to Kim. Victor Caratini on deck, and then the pitcher's spot for the Padres in the 6th. DeGrom just spent most of the last inning on the bases. Fastball velocity down a little bit to start this 6th inning. It's been 96 to 98 in this inning. It was 99 to 101 earlier in the game.
I just think he takes his measure as the game progresses of a lineup, Gary, and that is as a whole and individually each separate hitter 1 through 9.
On the outside corner, he got him looking at a slider. Strikeout number 9 for Jacob DeGrom.
Got a generous call there. Yeah, that missed, but you'll take it.
You get that when you're the best pitcher on the planet.
You throw strikes, umpires are bound to call strikes. But back to my point, Gary, is that he knows, I think he's figured everything out, that hitter X, Y, Z, I don't have to throw 100 miles an hour. I don't have to throw that razor blade slider. But hitters A, B, C, maybe I got to amp it up. I think he takes his measure of every lineup.
Caratini takes low and in for ball 1. Caratini a soft liner to short his first time up. Brian O'Grady is out on deck to pinch hit. And DeGrom throws up and in with a fastball, and for a rare time tonight he's behind in the count.
Another up and in fastball to a left-hand hitter. He likes that side of the plate, whether it's a left-hand hitter or a right-hand hitter, Gary. That's his zone.
That's on the inside corner. 2-1. By the way, may I just take a brief moment to say, I don't know if you agree with this, I love these Padres road uniforms.
I do too.
I think they are stunning.
I'm glad they're back to the brown.
The mustard and mud.
Well,
I say that, you know.
this is much more attractive
I
than
say that lovingly.
Yes.
Yes. I just don't know what color to say that uniform is, because that's not gray. It's kind of like a.
No, it's not, definitely not gray.
And something in the brown family with the dark brown pinstripes. It's lovely.
I mean, come on, the Friars, yeah. Like a Friar tuck.
Jake has struck out 9 tonight. Make it 10. 51st time in his career that DeGrom has struck out 10 or more.
Well, this is just getting redundant and just completely overmatching every lineup that's run up against him. It's an overmatch.
Fifth time this year DeGrom has struck out 10 or more. 51 times in his career. And the MVP chant starts again. Now Brian O'Grady, who played his college ball at Rutgers, gets a chance to bat at Citi Field. And he drives one foul. He was ready to swing the bat.
Well,
got way out ahead. It's 0-1.
That's the golden rule. When you're pinch hitting, thou shall not pass.
A little early, though. O'Grady's kicked around. He's 29 years old. Had a little big league time with the Reds 2 years ago, with Tampa Bay last year. He's had 35 at bats with the Padres this year. And he takes a changeup off the plate, and it's 1-1. O'Grady took the roster spot of Tucupita Marcano, who played a lot in that series against the Mets last weekend, the 21-year-old. And O'Grady lifts one out to deep right center. Back goes McKinney onto the warning track. He's got room. Comes in to make the catch. Best anybody's hit a ball against DeGrom tonight. O'Grady flies out. 6 scoreless for Jake. 3-0 Mets. All right, meanwhile, the Marlins are leading the Braves 4-2 in the 5th. The Phillies, who won in walk-off fashion against the Braves the last 2 nights, have the night off tonight. That's really odd on a Friday. Mets are the only team over 500 in the East, and they'll take that 3.5 game lead. Meanwhile, the Padres, who are 10 games over 500, sit in 3rd place in that very tightly packed division, with the Giants, Dodgers, and Padres all playing well. And Jake's getting the handshake. Remember, he said after his last start that he came out because he was tired. Came out after 7 innings at 85 pitches. Tonight he's thrown 80 pitches through 6, and it looks like he's done. Dom Smith leads off against Craig Stammen and rolls one out to the right side. And Kim throws him out. 1 pitch and 1 away. So DeGrom looks like he's taking his exit, having thrown 6 more scoreless innings tonight. That's 22 consecutive scoreless innings for DeGrom. His career high is 24 1/3. He did that in 2018. So 1 out. Here's Pilar, who got the Mets started in the 5th. With a hustle double to left, came in to score the first Mets run. I was asking Mets general manager Zach Scott today about their plans for pitchers. I was asking specifically about Taijuan Walker because he has thrown so few innings the last few years, whether they're planning on limiting outings, skipping starts, worrying about what comes down the road as Pilar hits one out to left and Pham comes in to get it, and that's the 2nd out. And he said, look, coming off the short season last year, everybody is going to have issues, and we have to, measure things with the sports performance staff, see how strong guys' arms are, use a lot of different tools to try and figure out where to slow guys down. And I wonder from DeGrom's standpoint, this is his 3rd outing since coming off the injured list, if he's shortening this one the way he shortened the last one, whether that's toward an eye down the road this season, trying to keep himself fresh for the whole year.
Also,
Miguel Castro looks like he'll be on the pitch in the 7th.
certainly a 3-0 game is not by any stretch of the imaginations a blowout.
No. But at the same time, the Mets bullpen has been very reliable. Call strike to McKinney. Well, this was right before he went down the tunnel. Trainer Brian Chiclo talking with DeGrom, so we don't know whether there's some issue there.
Remember, he's had that lat, and, maybe he's felt a little tightness, and if that's the case, get him out.
Well, for sure. I mean, it certainly looks as though, as was the case in his last start, that he's making the call. So we'll find out more about that afterward, but it does appear as though DeGrom is done after 6.
Oh, nice curveball there.
1-2 to McKinney, who drove in the first Met run with a double.
He has done a terrific job here since being called up. And like I said, he's got a quick bat.
1-2 from Stammen. And he bounces that curveball, and that came off the bare hand of Caratini.
Catcher
got whacked in the mask in the last inning, and this time off his meat hand.
Remember in the old days, Gary, when we were just little young whippersnappers, and there it is, hitting them right there. Off the index finger and the thumb. You see so many old minor league catchers with knuckles that they've broken fingers.
Well, it was Johnny Bench, I think, who started the idea of keeping his arm behind his leg or behind his back.
Behind his back.
Yeah, to keep it out of play. And then a lot of catchers followed that.
Yep, he was the first one to do it. Yeah. It was a evolution there,
but it was also an evolution of the catcher's mitt, because it became a one-handed catcher's mitt. It used to be you had that puffy thing that you really needed your bare hand to help secure the ball. Caratini appears to be all right, and McKinney takes a curveball down. That's 3-2. So Caratini getting a workout out there. So if DeGrom is done, it's the 5th time in his career he's gone at least 5 innings and given up no more than 1 hit. It has just been spectacular. And if indeed he is not coming out to pitch anymore, his ERA will go down to 0.56. McKinney drives one out to right. Myers going back. It's over his head and one hop against the wall. McKinney racing for second, and he's in standing with a 2-out double. Second double of the night for Billy McKinney, who just continues to rake.
Fast bat. 10th extra base hit as a Met. Good balance. When you got quick hands, you can sit back.
This guy's not going anywhere.
That ball had inside corner too, and he's quick.
That's with their 6th hit of the night. 2 of them have been Billy McKinney doubles. And now a chance to tack on with Jose Peraza at the plate. Pitcher spot due up next. Nobody's come out on deck as yet. Remember, Luis Guillorme was activated today, so he's available as a left-hand bat, and there he is on cue. Hi, Luis. Welcome back. And the fans booing, seeing Guillorme out to bat for DeGrom. They're not privy to the images we just had of the dugout.
I love the fact that the great majority of this attendance tonight, the fans, are in their seats watching.
You're saying there's no line at Shake Shack?
Oh, I've heard that someone texted me that it's like 5-6 deep in all the concessions and areas of bars and all that.
1-2 to Peraza.
People are having a grand old time. Boy, they've missed this. And we have too, Gary.
We have. The noise in this place tonight has been just a splendid thing to hear. The electricity, And a lot of that has to do with DeGrom, but just the fact that so many people are able to gather together to watch a baseball game in New York. It's been a long time.
It's a Friday night, and I think we're going to see this pretty much all the way. This team is very likable. They're in first place.
0-2 to Peraza, and he slams one out to left field. Back goes Pham to the warning track. He makes the catch. Nicely done by Tommy Pham, outrunning that ball. Hit by Peraza to save a run. After 6, 3-0 New York. In the bottom of the 6th, just missed.
Sinker ball pitcher. Oh, just good inside corner fastball, and got it towards the label just enough.
Missed it by that much.
Yep, well, we've all been there. Darn it.
It's like Maxwell Smart. Missed it by that much.
Gee.
Miguel Castro takes over the pitching for the Mets as we go to the 7th. He's not in the cone of silence, but Keith is for the moment. He got to his cough.
Oh, my. Excuse me. I got a sore throat, folks, so I'm a little under the weather here. But, you know, anyway, Castro's just been phenomenal. Those numbers are solid. He is a double trouble for right-hand hitters.
So Jacob DeGrom, 6 innings, no runs, 1 hit, no walks, 10 strikeouts, 80 pitches, lowered his ERA to 0.56, which is the lowest in history for any pitcher through 10 starts. The record had belonged to Juan Marichal, who in 1966 was at 0.59 through his first 10 starts. And so DeGrom has eclipsed that with another brilliant outing. He's now put together 22 consecutive scoreless innings. And now they'll need 9 outs from the bullpen to secure a victory for him. Good slider by Castro to get him on Pham in 2.
Yeah, Castro, that's a very good weapon against right-handers.
By the way, you know, DeGrom has gotten wins in each of his last 2 starts. You know the last time he got wins in 3 straight starts? That's the slider in for a call, 3rd strike, and Pham is struck out for the 3rd time tonight.
How long ago was that?
2018 is the last time DeGrom won 3 straight starts. Remember, he only got 10 wins that year, his first Cy Young year. Well, DeGrom's out of the game now. Folks aren't paying quite as much attention.
What will we do without them?
We'd watch all 9 innings.
Less accidents on the road.
Well, nobody's on their phone when they're on the road.
Oh, are you kidding?
Fernando Tatis takes outside. I can't believe people would do that.
All those rear-enders. Well, my brother's in insurance. He said that cell phones are a cause of more accidents than DWI, DUIs.
I believe it, Keith, but I still don't believe it. People are smarter than that, aren't they? Can't be distracted when you're driving.
Well.
Tatis has been up twice, struck out both times. He lines one to left field, and that's down for a base hit. And it goes past Dahman all the way back to the wall, and Tatis will leg this one to second. So Tatis with just the 2nd San Diego hit of the night, a 1-out double.
He hits a laser beam here. Right down the middle. He's on it. Beautiful swing right there. Perfect balance.
So for the first time tonight, the Padres have a runner in scoring position. This Padres team's been offensively starved the last couple of weeks. Now trying to get one on the board here with Jake Cronenworth, and he slugs one out to right center deep. Back goes McKinney near the wall. It's out of here. Jake Cronenworth with a 2-run homer, his 6th of the year. And just like that, the Met lead is trimmed to 3-2.
Wow.
Well, there's nothing that gives a team more life than seeing a dominant starting pitcher come out of a game. They had no chance against DeGrom for 6 innings. But like lightning, a double by Tatis and a 2-run homer by Cronenworth gets San Diego back in the game.
Another fastball right down the pipe. Now look how on top of the plate he is. Oh my word. And he just, that ball's right down Broadway.
Seth Lugo getting up in the Mets bullpen as Castro gives up a home run for the 3rd time this season. And they've got the swag chain in the dugout.
It's getting more and more like NCAA and NFL football.
They have swag chains in football?
Well, all the stuff they do after a home run before they go back in the dugout, you know, the camera and posing with the muscles like they're.
It's all for fun, kid.
Not for sure. Entertainment, I guess.
Here's Manny Machado, who's 0 for 2, flied out and grounded out. And Castro throws one to the backstop. So after a really good at bat against Pham, Castro having a little bit of an issue now. Center cut pitch to Tatis and to Cronenworth. Both got mashed. And now he misses badly with the first pitch to Machado. And the slider well off the plate again. It's 2-0. And all of a sudden Lugo can't get ready quick enough.
That's also Aaron Loop down there. Nice to see Seth back.
And now 3-0 to Machado, who you know has the green light, where one swing could tie the game. Will Myers on deck, then Jerks and Profar. There's a strike, 3-1. And another fastball for a strike, and it's 3-2.
I don't know what Machado's taking. And he's a big bat. Those are hitters' counts.
Three-two. Outside, ball 4, and now the tying run is on base. So a double, a home run, and now a walk. Machado with a few words for Manny Gonzalez on his way to first base. Better watch himself.
Yeah, he's going to run out of this game.
Jace Tingler, his manager, is going to come out to make sure that one of his star players doesn't get ejected in a one-run game.
Yeah, and that's going to be all. Here comes Louis to take Castro out.
So a rare bad outing for Miguel Castro. And Seth Lugo will come in to try to put out the fire. Mets clinging to a one-run lead now in the 7th. We'll be right back. SNY Play Ball, presented by Toyota, is back, looking to help local football leagues in need continue play in 2021, providing grants, clinics, and equipment donations. Right now, we're accepting applications. If you know a local football league in need, apply today at sny.tv/playball. Little in-game fraternization.
Even a coach getting into this.
Wayne Kirby, first base coach for the Padres. All very good-natured conversation.
They can all go to dinner after the game, you know, if they want.
Well, now Seth Lugo will make his home season debut. Pitched 3 times on the road trip after being activated following elbow surgery in the spring.
He said that he felt great after his first outing in Arizona. Really was snapping off some curves.
Will Myers the batter. And he gets a first pitch slider for a strike. Myers had the first hit and the only hit against DeGrom in the 5th inning, then was caught stealing. DeGrom faced the minimum over 6 innings. That was the only base runner against Jake, but trouble has followed Jake's exit. A double by Tatis, a home run by Cronenworth, And now a walk to Machado to put the tying run on base with 1 out. So a rough outing for Castro. And Lugo gets one by Myers, and it's 0-2. Castro looked like he was in some kind of physical distress as he left the mound. The Mets athletic trainer Brian Chiclo walked him back to the dugout. So I don't know what that was all about. But certainly Castro did not look right after striking out Pham to start the inning. 0-2. Struck him out. 95-mile-an-hour fastball gets Myers for the second out.
Inside corner.
So Lugo fans the first man to face him. And now Jurickson Profar has been up twice, popped up both times. He's now 0 for his last 18. Chase Tingler, the Padres manager, said before the game today that his regular center fielder Trent Grisham might be ready as soon as Sunday in the final game of this series. Eric Hosmer out on deck. He'll pinch hit if Profar can keep the inning going, with Ha-Sung Kim due on deck. Sinker misses to Profar, ball 1. Shift onto the infield against Profar, a switch hitter who's hitting a little better left-handed than right. Machado 6 steals on the year. And the changeup misses outside, and it's 2-0. The word we are getting from the Mets on Castro is that he left the game with a stiff neck. So there you go. Profar lines one, caught by Peraza, side retired. Cronenworth's 2-run homer gets the Padres closer, but Lugo puts down the further threat. Tonight's 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Ford and the fully electric F-150 Lightning. Let's take a look at it. 7th inning stretch was brought to you by the Ford Motor Company, built Ford proud. Fans up and stretching, biggest crowd in 2 years at Citi Field. It's been an entertaining night. They saw what they came to see. That was Jacob DeGrom have himself another brilliant performance. 6 scoreless innings and a 2-run single to boot. Mets have a 3-2 lead. Craig Stammen will work his second inning relief for San Diego. Luis Guillorme will pinch hit, leading off in the bottom of the 7th. First plate appearance since the 24th of April for Guillorme. He was out with an oblique injury, and after 6 weeks, making his return tonight. He was off to a fast start, 6 for 18 at the plate, and he takes a first pitch curveball for a strike from Stammen.
Luis got a nice welcome back applause from the fans here.
Guillorme was playing a lot of third base early in the season and playing it well, but it doesn't look like that's going to be his spot right now. Broken bat grounder back to Stammen. 1 out. Drive around the majors presented by Audi. Cubs were down 5-1 in that game. Jock Peterson, Anthony Rizzo, Wilson Contreras all homered, and the Cubs came back and beat the Cardinals 8-5. Big concern for the Nationals with Max Scherzer coming out of the game because of an apparent back injury in the first inning. And the Marlins lead the Braves 4-2 in the 6th. Here's VR, who has 2 of the Mets' 6 hits tonight. So VR really is the reason why Guillorme is not going to play any third base. At least that's not the plan.
Exactly.
He's been playing so well there and so consistently and contributing in all areas. Guillorme, of course, is a gifted infielder wherever you put him, and he and Peraza will probably split time at second base. And then when McNeil gets back, they'll figure out a new plan.
I don't know how. I don't see how you can take VR out of the lineup.
Well, I would think, for the short term, when McNeil gets back, VR stays at third.
No question.
And Guillorme and Peraza both become bench players. Of course, the Mets are going to have some difficult decisions to make. They have a number of guys who have stepped up and played important roles. Peraza, McKinney, VR, while the regulars have been out. So when the regulars come back, roster space could get a little short. Travis Blankenhorn was let go today to make room for Guillorme. Fastball for a strike to VR, and it's 2-2. Coming up tonight after the postgame show, Geico Sports Night, all the baseball news today. And we'll have the basketball and hockey playoff picture as well. Geico Sports Night tonight and every night on SNY.
And don't forget now, this is the first game now. The Mets will be playing 33 games in 31 days. 3 doubleheaders and a makeup game against the Nationals.
In the next 31 days, the Mets have exactly 1 off day. And 3 doubleheaders.
Yep.
And that takes them up to the All-Star break. The good news, of course, is that 22 of those 33 will be at home.
16 against division rivals.
Yeah, it's big.
It's a big stretch.
An opportunity to open up a nice gap.
I agree.
VR takes on the inside corner. Strike 3 called. Stammen picking off the inside edge, and VR not happy with Manny Gonzalez as he trudges away. First strikeout for Stammen.
Yep, that is a strike.
Aaron Loop is up in the Mets bullpen. Looks like he'll get the top of the 8th with the lower third of the order coming up. Mets have a completely rested bullpen with the off day yesterday. So you got Loop and, if necessary, May for the 8th, and then Diaz rested for the 9th. Here's Lindor. And the curveball in for a strike. You might ask, why didn't they go more than an inning with Lugo? Why didn't they double switch him into the game? I think that they're trying to work Seth in slowly.
Sure.
Only his 4th outing. Like to have him for as many days as possible. You go 2 innings with him, then you have to sit him for a day or 2. And Lindor badly fooled on the curve by Stammen, 0-2.
Well, Lugo's been back, this is the 10th game since coming off the IL, and he's had 5 appearances, Gary. 4? My mistake.
Well, he got the job done tonight. Stranded the tying run at first base. The next 6 outs will be somebody else's concern. Lindor flicks that curveball foul. Francisco 0 for 3 tonight. Grounded into a double play, line to left, fly to center. Had the 8-game hitting streak. He's gone just 1 for 12 now over the last 4 games. There's Loop getting ready for the bottom of the San Diego order in the 8th.
Trying to set it up for the big guy, Mr. Diaz. And the entrance music.
You're just waiting for Timmy Trumpet. Lindor takes strike 3 call, and Stammen has himself a second scoreless inning. Back-to-back strikeouts for Stammen. 3-2 Met lead going to the 8th. Now Snell really needs a strikeout. Ahead on DeGrom 1-2. And he lines one to left field for a base hit. McKinney is in. Peraza being waved home. He will score. Jacob DeGrom draws in a pair, and it's 3-0 New York. And not only was he brilliant on the mound for 6 innings tonight, his hit is the difference in this game. Mets with a 3-2 lead as we go to the 8th. Jake's last 2 starts, both against San Diego, 13 innings, no runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, 21 strikeouts. Aaron Loop on to pitch the 8th. First outing in 8 days for Loop. Ha-Sung Kim first man to face him, and he takes a fastball for a strike. Kim is 0 for 2, struck out twice against DeGrom, swinging in the 3rd, looking in the 6th. It'll be Kim, then Victor Caratini, then the pitcher's spot for the Padres in the 8th.
Good time to bring in Loop here in the 8th. Hosmer is the one guy on the bench, a left-hand hitter, the veteran. There's the bullpen. Familia and Diaz.
Interesting that Diaz is up to start the 8th inning. So if things get dicey, it looks like Louis is not going to hesitate bringing in his closer in the 8th if necessary. Three infielders on the left side against Kim. 1-2 coming from Loop, and he fouls away the fastball. Well, with a full week off, looks like Aaron's got a little extra life on his fastball tonight. Pierce Johnson is up in the San Diego bullpen.
There's another slider guy. Loves his slider.
Nothing wrong with that, you know.
Oh, sure.
A little slider love. I'm a fan of White Castle myself. Line to center field, a base hit for Kim. And that's how the top of the 8th inning begins, with the Padres' 4th hit of the night. So Ha-Sung Kim down in the count, got a change up and hit it into center field.
Well, nice hitting right there. Stays back. Look at the eyes on the ball. That is nice down and away pitch. You got sometimes, you know, that guy's making a living too. Tip your hat.
Here's Caratini, and he takes a backdoor breaking ball for a strike. So they just announced that Jacob DeGrom left the game tonight with what they're calling right flexor tendonitis. So we knew there was something troubling him that caused him to come out of the game after 6 innings. And that's the report. Right flexor tendonitis.
We got to look up flexor. What do you got, Gare?
Well, the flexor are the muscles on either side of the elbow.
Well, that's concerning.
Obviously, it's concerning. Anytime Jacob DeGrom has any kind of hurt, you know, he missed a couple of starts because of tightness in his side, and this is obviously more concerning because it's his arm. But we'll find out more after the game. 2-1 to Caratini, batting right-handed for the first time tonight, and a good cutter by Loop to get even 2-2. Cutter's such a good weapon for Loop against the right-hand batters. Jorge Mateo is out on deck to pinch hit with the pitcher spot due up next. Kim, the tying run at first. He has 5 steals in 6 tries this year. And it's on the inside corner. Yep. Fastball gets Caratini looking for the first out.
Good pitch.
13 strikeouts for Met pitchers tonight.
You got the call. Close.
So now Jorge Mateo will pinch hit and can out to talk to Loop about how they're going to operate against Mateo, the speedster. He's about as fast from home to first as a right-hand batter as anybody in the game. Right there with Trey Turner, Tim LaCastro, guys like that. The R shortens up at third. Mateo always a threat to drop one down. Kim the tying run at first with 1 out. And Mateo takes a cutter inside for ball 1. Padres 2 runs and 4 hits. The Mets 3 runs and 6 hits. We're in the 8th. And Mateo takes a fastball for a strike. 1-1. Miguel Castro gave up a 2-run homer to Jake Cronenworth in the 7th to get the Padres closer. But then Seth Lugo came in to get the final 2 outs in the 7th, and now Loup trying to work around a leadoff hit in the 8th. And he misses away. 2-1.
Well, the left-hander Loup has kept Eric Hosmer on the bench.
And that backdoor cutter misses, and now it's 3-1 to Mateo. Tommy Pham is on deck.
Boy, oh boy.
You got the 2 right-hand hitters, Pham and Tatis. You got Familia ready in the bullpen, but you also have Diaz up.
And you've also got Hosmer ready.
Line off Loup. He recovers, has a play at second, gets the out there. Nice recovery by Aaron Loup. I'm not 100% sure where that ball hit him, but he was able to knock it down and get the out at second base.
I think it got him in the chest or in the tummy. Oh boy, that got him right below the chest.
So it goes as a 1-6 fielder's choice. Brian Chiclo, the head athletic trainer, is coming out to see if he can be of any assistance. Luis Rojas is coming out as well.
Do you pinch hit for Pham if Familia comes in, or Diaz with Hosmer?
I don't think so. Pham is their high on base percentage.
Oh, he's making a pitching change.
But who's he bringing in? Is he bringing in Diaz or Familia?
Let's see. Looks like Diaz is getting the call. No, it's going to be Familia.
No, Familia sat down, so it's going to be. I think it's going to be Diaz.
All right.
So they're going to call on Diaz to try and get a 4-out save after Aaron Loup gets drilled by this line drive and recovers to make the play. Got him really near the left shoulder, Keith.
Yep. He's smiling.
Able to smile about it. That's always a good thing. So Loup out. Diaz coming in. Sound the trumpets. Going for the 4-out save. We'll be right back. Become a crowd favorite at Citi Field. The entrance music for Edwin Diaz, Blaster Jackson, Timmy Trumpet. Mateo takes off. McCann's throw to second is too late. And on the first pitch thrown by Diaz, Mateo steals the base and puts the tying run in scoring position. And I'm not sure why you would bring Diaz in the game and not have him throw over with a base stealer like Mateo aboard.
And he stole it easily. Boy, he's fast.
Tommy Pham at the plate, and that's where Diaz's attention was. Pham's been up 3 times, struck out all 3. He flies one out to right, coming over toward the corner is McKinney. He gets there to make the catch. Billy McKinney with a nice running grab, and that gets Diaz and the Mets through the top of the 8th with a 1-run lead. Tomorrow, Marcus Stroman will be on the mound for the Mets. Joe Musgrove goes for the Padres. 4:10 start. Coverage begins at 3:30 tomorrow right here on SNY. Edwin Diaz requiring just 2 pitches to get 1 out in the 8th. He'll be asked to get a more than 3-out save for just the 2nd time this year. And I wonder whether they did ask him to throw to first and he just didn't. I wonder whether that's what that conversation is about. Ended up not mattering even though Mateo stole the bag. He got Pham to fly out on the next pitch, and now Pierce Johnson comes in to pitch the bottom of the 8th for San Diego.
There's Pierce Johnson right there, 24th game. Here we are, a third of the way through the season. Obviously, the Padres are more than a third of the way through the season. The Mets with all those rainouts, but they're going to be playing catch-up in games played by the All-Star break.
Johnson faced the Mets last Saturday, worked a hitless inning. He's another guy who throws predominantly sliders. 73% of the time he throws his slider.
Yep. I remember him, watching him, because of the curly hair in the back.
Is that why?
Yeah, and then the fact that he threw 70-something% sliders, Gary.
James McCann leads off and takes a fastball for a strike, so that was one of the 27%. McCann's been on base twice. He walked and then was hit on the triceps by a pitch in the 5th inning. Padre bullpen has turned in 3 scoreless innings behind Blake Snell. It's got 3 runs against Snell in the 5th. That's up the middle, and McCann's got a base hit. So McCann on base for the 3rd straight time, and the Mets looking for insurance, have the leadoff man on in the 8th.
He's got a big leg kick. But look at the balance. He's standing up tall like a telephone pole. Likes the ball down like so many hitters, hanging slider.
So now Pete Alonso. Pete's gone 0 for 2 in a walk tonight.
When you throw a hanging slider to Pete, you'll be rubbing up a new one.
Pete's numbers against breaking balls have been fantastic lately.
Yep. And we're supposed to have all this knowledge prior. They all get here at 12 noon.
It's fine if you can throw your breaking ball in a place where he can't hit it. I thought, I don't know if you read Tim Britton's interview with Trevor May that came out today in The Athletic. It was fascinating because, May has had trouble with his slider this year. And he said, I have to throw more sliders in the strike zone so they'll swing at them out of the strike zone, which sounds elemental, but it's really true. He said, I'm throwing too many out of the strike zone and they're spitting on it. So I have to throw some in so that then they'll go a little further and chase it out.
Whatever floats your boat.
It's pitching 101. Got to make your pitches tempting, otherwise they won't swing at them, right?
Gary, I haven't been in the batter's box in a long time. I forgot.
You haven't been on the pitcher's mound in even longer. Like, what, Little League? High school?
High school.
I could see you coming back as a situational left-hander.
Oh, yeah.
Dropping down, throwing sidearm.
Yeah.
Do you know the Padres just signed Joe Beimel to a minor league contract? 1-2 to Pete. And he chases the slider for strike 3, so there you go. Johnson got him out with a slider well out of the strike zone for the first out. Joe Beimel is 44 years old. He's been pitching an independent ball.
He's been around for a long time.
He hasn't been in the big leagues forever, but the Padres just signed him to a minor league deal. 44 years old. So if Joe Beimel can do it, I think you might have a future as a left-handed reliever. You don't have to do a lot of work. Although now with the 3-batter rule, you have to face, at least 3 guys.
Bobby Valentine blew my arm out one spring training. I threw BP and I blew my shoulder out throwing BP from the mound. When Bobby was manager.
Knocked down, Cronenworth to Tatis and on to first. The 4-6-3 double play ends the inning. Diaz. Mets bringing Mason Williams to play center. Kevin Pillar slides over to left to shore up the outfield defense for Edwin Diaz, who got the last out in the 8th and now is bidding for a 4-out save. Tatis, Cronenworth, and Machado 2, 3, and 4 in the Padres batting order in the 9th. And Tatis fouls off the first pitch slider, 0-1.
Well, he's got to go through the heart of the order. 10 saves and 11 chances.
Tatis doubled to left center against Miguel Castro in the 7th. He swings through that slider, and it's 0-2. Diaz trying for his second save with more than 3 outs this year. He had a 5-out save against the Braves. Oh-2. Couldn't get him to chase the fastball. 1-2. Jake Cronenworth, who homered his last time up, is on deck. And then Manny Machado. So Diaz getting the tough part of the batting order in the 9th. Tatis is 1 for 2 in his career against Diaz. He can chase the slider. 2-2. Jacob DeGrom went the first 6 before leaving with right flexor tendonitis. He allowed no runs, 1 hit, no walks, and 10 strikeouts. Castro gave up a pair in the 7th. Lugo, Loop, and now Diaz trying to protect a 1-run lead. 2-2. Struck him out. 1 down in the 9th. Diaz takes care of Tatis with a slider.
And a good one off the plate. Butt flying out. 3 strikeouts for Tatis.
So now Cronenworth was responsible for the 2 San Diego runs. A 2-run homer against Castro in the 7th, his 6th of the year. And a slider for a strike, 0-1.
Good one.
Cronenworth yanks that slider foul, and it's 0-2. No question, Diaz's slider has been the best we've seen it in the early portion of this year.
I think we can easily say, Gary, that he's over the hump.
Oh-2 coming. Too high with the fastball at 101. Manny Machado on deck. Mets and Padres played tight games for 4 days in San Diego last weekend, and another one tonight. One-two to Cronenworth. Got him looking. 2 men down. Back-to-back strikeouts for Edwin Diaz. And thus the Padres are down to their final out with Manny Machado coming up. Little looper into shallow right center. That'll fall for a base hit for Machado, and the Padres have life in the 9th. So Machado with a 2-out hit. And that puts the tying run aboard with Will Myers scheduled, but Eric Hosmer is going to bat for Will Myers.
Wow, he's going to pinch hit for his right hand, one of his big right-handed bats with power. Been waiting, holding Hosmer back.
And they didn't have the right spot for him earlier. The Met fans are booing Eric Hosmer. They remember well his dash to the plate in Game 5 of the World Series 6 years ago. Hosmer 1 for 4 in his career against Diaz. Machado, who can steal a base, carries the tying run at first with 2 out. And Hosmer takes a strike. Ripped down the line. Foul.
Oh,
just
boy.
foul. Hosmer got a slider to hit, and he ripped it, and it just tucked away and went foul by that much.
4 feet.
And thus the Padres are down to their final strike. Going to Hosmer. Fouled away. 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Got a pitch you can waste here, Gare. See if they go fishing.
Again, the 0-2. And he fell back another fastball. Had a good swing at that.
And this is a little country hardball here. 2 pitches in a row.
Hosmer's got 5 home runs this year.
I think it's time for a back foot slider. I like that term.
You're so new school. Machado at first, 2 out. The 0-2. Too high.
Oh, he's going after him.
Hosmer's not a guy who lifts very much. It's a lot of ground balls and line drives. Trying to hang it against the heat of Edwin Diaz. 1-2. Machado runs. Hosmer pumps it up. McCann sheds the mask, and the ball game is over. Edwin Diaz gets a 4-out save. Jacob DeGrom 6 scoreless innings, but question marks about his arm. He also delivers a 2-run hit, and the Mets take the opener of the homestand as they beat the Padres 3-2.
Well, the Mets keep the party going here in front of 30,000 fans for the first time, and they're all going home happy. Diaz has just been outstanding, his 11th save. And DeGrom, as Ronnie Darling would say, had a Little League game.
Well, concerned about DeGrom, who left with right flexor tendonitis. But he also leaves with 22 consecutive scoreless innings and the best ERA ever for a pitcher through 10 starts at 0.56. And he's won 3 consecutive starts for the first time since 2018. Mets have now taken 3 of 5 from the Padres, with 2 more to play the next 2 days. Here's your game summary. Mets are 7 games over 500 for the first time this season, as DeGrom pitched brilliantly, hit well, but the questions will be about the health of his arm after coming out of this game. The tri-accurate precision play of the game came from the bat of DeGrom in the 5th inning. Mets were already up 1-0, and DeGrom slicing one to left center to drive in 2 more after a Blake Snell balk. And that was all the Mets needed tonight as they defeat the Padres 3-2. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Ram. Hurry in for great deals during the Ram Spotlight Sales Event. By Spectrum. Spectrum Mobile has unlimited talk, text, and data. You can save up to 40%. Go to SpectrumMobile.com today. By Lexus. Experience amazing. By BP. You can get 5 cents off with BP Me Rewards at BP and Amoco stations. Download today. And by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. Final score tonight, the Mets 3, the Padres 2. Game 2 of this series tomorrow afternoon with Marcus Stroman against Joe Musgrove, a 4:10 start. Our coverage begins right here on SNY tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Now for Keith Hernandez, Steve Gelbs, and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Cohen at Citi Field. Mets with a big win tonight over the Padres. Time for WB Mason. Post-game live. Let's join Gary Apple and Jim Duquette in the studio. Guys?